three, go.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm very excited to be here in this moment in the class, and I want to start with my presentation about John Carroll Diary. Okay, points to discuss. Eh, I propose this a little introduction about my commentaries about the book, my first commentaries. The central topic, in my perspective, I have to be clear because everybody can to interpret the message of this book in different ways, but that's my perspective. And a conclusion, something that made me reflect about the, the history about Anne Frank. Uh, by the way, I like this image. I found that uh, these guys do a comic about the book of Anne Frank. Okay, I am really happy to be here. I'm planning to share you a little about something that caught me from this book. Okay, in the introduction, let me tell something. That's in first time maybe sounds a little weird because I'm a I do a quote from the book The Little Prince, but give me a second for explain. Adults are weird people. I like it this phrase. I really like it this phrase. Um, this is my first time reading this book. I never read this book before. Obari told me about this book that is very great, but I hadn't had chance to read it until this class, and it was beautiful. And I found some affinity with the Little Prince. Sorry, uh, that sounds crazy, maybe, and you're going to say that that's crazy, man. Why? I catch some similarities, some similar things in this book. Maybe to, in my perspective, talk about the same the same topic in certain moments, and that is very nice. Let me explain a little more. Um, the princess, the little prince, addresses the issue from a child's perspective, and in the Anna Frank's diary case is the same, just with a little different. In in Little Prince, the little prince is still a child. He visited a lot of planets and interact with a lot of people, and that people are adult people, and is for he is very confusing. The people, the adults are weird people. They're thinking trivial things. In the case of Annie Frank, is similar. It's similar. The only difference is she interacted with the reality and she involves in that reality. She is a girl. She looks it, but she didn't still like a child. She growing. She involves. She interacts and she introduced in that society, in that reality, and that it's very nice because Anna Frank shows you how a people grown between hard circumstance. That is the point. For me, both books are beautiful, are very shortly, but both are deeper. And as you can see in the presentation, deeper in the feelings and the nature of the humanity. The but in the case of Anna Frank, she she looks the worst parts of the humanity. That's the problem. She interacts with the worst part of the humanity, and in this interaction, she has to grow to continue the way. Okay, this is a little. I want to talk about the central topic. As I mentioned, it both addresses the same topic but in different perspective. We have a lot of forms to talk about the same thing or to do the same things, like in the margin. A good form to fishing and a bad form to fishing. Um, Give me a second for. Okay. So in both books, uh, we can see that both characters try to integrate, as I say, to the real world. But just in one, the Anne Frank's diary, she facing the situation and live that situation until to the end. The little prince decide to back to his planet and to steal a child, but Anna Frank has to continue with the road, and I really like this because in the book shows us that she was looking for her own voice. I mean her own voice like a writer, because in some of part of the books she talk about I want to write, I want to contribute to the humanity with some positive, and that it's very nice. But in this looking, she tried to find her like a person, and I somebody came to ask why as a person, what does mean, and it describes, and let me to quote a little part of my essay, and it describes how she has been incorporated gradually to the real life, to other world. That is the I think the important point in the book, how this girls is this girl was became in a missus, in a biggest girl in a missus, and the most important thing is, oh yeah, the most important thing is between the hard circumstance, what you decide to do uh, for continuing this way. What I try to mean. Uh, in the case of Anna Frank, oh sorry, the war changed all the plans for her, because she is a Jewish girl that have a certain kind of education, and she have to walk step by step in that education. But when the war started, all those plans, all that steps change in a certain form, and she have to face in it. The adversity always surprise ourselves, always, and in most of cases, we aren't prepared for facing it, and that is, in my perspective, that is real, and is always work in that form. The adversity always surprise ourselves. She was not prepared for that, but in spite of that, she did from falling, facing sorry. she did from facing all that changes, and she decided to force it to get over there. And but something curious in the book, she narrated that all the people got crazy because everybody start to stall to other, to block windows, to lie to some other people. But and she asked why the people do it, why in this difficult circumstance the people change and be very despicable. And in her mind is, well, this is a difficult circumstance, but I need is to continue like a good person and growing like a good one. I think uh, I want to quote some other part of my essay, and this is something that I am amazing for that thing because in in all the situations, the troubles make us to decide what we want to do, if we want to continue ahead or die in the process. I really like that between all those changes, she decided to continue ahead. Uh, one time, in one class ago, I mentioned this. I believe humanity has not been ready for all the changes throughout their history. I don't know if somebody remember it. We have spent a couple minutes to talking about this. And when mention it, it is not because I think that the humanity are stupid people. I refer that just the humanity is carefree. Sometimes we like to live uh, comfortable, and that make while we are still comfortable, we make us more carefree. And when the adversity follow follow over us, we are not prepared for that, and we suffer. We suffer that consequence because uh, we spend the time in trivial things and not for uh, important things or to be prepared for the hard times. Is like I don't know. Sometimes I feel that the humanity flows like the river. If it's a rock, crash with the rock, but continue with the way. No, uh, that's that was that Anna Frank looked in the time that she lives, and she asked what I have to do. All body decide one thing, decide to be bad, decide to be uh, carefree, decide to kill. But what I have to do, what I going to decide, what I got to decide, sorry. And to the long of all the book, talked about she talked about God, and I remember one phrase of her that say, "God has not left me." She between that of that circumstance, she felt God very very closer, and that is for whatever people can to think that is impossible. You are suffering. You eating, but that's very no. Sorry, I forget some words. Uh, in the day, almost it's just a piece of bread and a Pisos Sauch, why you say that God is closer to you? And she only respond, and I think it's a very pointed to when she responds, I only know that God is close to me. He had not left me, and I have to continue. All the years was the same thing to belong to their history, and it's still the same. I have to be a good person. I have to be a person that contributes something positive in this society because that is needed. And Anna Frank mentioned constantly about God's being present in people's
Otto,
life. Sorry.
do me a favor, wrap it up, close it because of the time.
Okay.
Close your
Uh,
presentation.
yeah. Well, the conclusion of this presentation is Anna Frank tried to be a good person uh, between all that hard circumstance. She take the hand of God and try to do it. She had the opportunity to decide what to do. And I think that is the message of the book. We have our opportunity today to do this, to decide to be a good person and to contribute to the humanity, a positive thing, and to change the society. The conclusion is what we have to do if we want to contribute something positive, or we are still carefree with all the opportunities that we have. And that's all.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Leave that presentation there for a moment, really fast, and I interrupted because I want everybody to have the presentation time. You started at 7:37 and you finished at 7:53. It's more or less 15 minutes, and for your first presentation in an exam, an official exam, that is a very good amount of time. So I'm going to go with who has to check body language and eye contact. Lorena, I think.
Yes, me.
Okay, feedbacks or questions. First, do you have a question, and then what did you observe based on the body language and eye contact?
Well, I think that he did a great job. He was really emotional, and he transmitted us the feelings he had when he wrote his essay, and that's the most important thing for me. He used his hands all the time, trying to emphasize ideas and thoughts. And also he did a contact, but sometimes when he was trying to remember something, he turned up
Okay.
his eyes. But it's normal, I think, because all of us do the same. But I think for me it was a good presentation. Thank you, Otto.
Good comment and good observation. But yes,
Thanks.
you are right. Imagine that you are doing that presentation in a face-to-face. Are you going to watch up? No. Eye contact. Eye contact. Camera. You have your camera. Don't do that. Just go to your camera. Eye contact. And if you have to take notes or if you have to see some notes that you haven't here, well, that's okay. But yes, that's a good observation. Don't go up. Just go there, there, there.
But it's really difficult for
Of
us
course,
because
of
we are
course, of course.
beginners.
Yes, I know,
But
but that, yeah, yeah,
uh-huh.
I agree. Good, very good. Let's go with the speaking skills. Who
It's
has
okay.
to do
Thanks.
that?
Me.
Three.
Good night. My name is Lorena Mercado. I prepare an essay in regards to the Diary of a Young Girl by Anna Frank. This is a history of a girl who lived in a hard time. Her life was amazing, full of emotions, sometimes plenty of happenings, and sometimes very, very sad. Even though Anna's youth, she was an intelligent, girl who had to grow up in the middle of the Second War. It wasn't easy for her and neither for her family. Anna's diary was written as any other diary. However, what she wrote allowed the human being to understand the war from a teenager perspective, with the innocence of a teenager. Her diary tells history of a group of Jews who live in a place called Annex. These people were stripped from their home by the German army, led by Adolf Hitler. So they had to learn how to live in a little place with a lot of deficiencies. Anna describes day by day what the people in the annex faced during their exile. They were afraid of being discovered, therefore they were organized. Some of them go out to get food. The women were in charge to feed the people in the annex with a few resources they have. Even though there are the adversities, there were also happy days. Anna left the childhood days behind to become a young girl. She got in love for the very first time, and love can relieve any suffering. She describes this part of her life with the innocence of a girl. The love helps her to support the war. They live in the annex for 2 years. Almost in August 1944, the people who lived there were arrested. Anna's diary was found in the building and kept it safely until after the war. Anna died in Bergen-Belsen, I'm not sure if it's good pronunciation, concentration camp. Her father survived the Jewish extermination. He shared the message of Anna's diary with the world. In this presentation, well, I try to to show you the most important chapters on Anna's life. In the first photograph, you can see Anna's family. Her father's name was Otto Heinrich. Her mother was Edith Frank. She had a sister called Margot. Anne diaries was written between June 12, 1942 to August 4, 1944, 3 days before Anne and her family got captured by the Gestapo. Otto Heinrich, Anna's father, survived to the Jewish Holocaust. Otto shared the message of his daughter diary with the world. In this other image, I can show you how the annex was organized. The hiding place was in Anna's father's office building, located in Amsterdam. Indeed, this now it's a historical place that you can go and visit, and it's really, really interesting and provide to the city a big value for the humanity, and I hope someday I can go and know that place. In the last, sorry, I'm dyslexic. I don't know how side is this one. She's Judith Jones. She was the editor who published this book for the first time, and well, in the center, you can see Anna. Anna was 13 years old when she had to live under the pressure on the Holocaust. And that's all from my side.
Okay, let's go.
Well, good night, everybody. My name is Adriana Zapata, and today I'm going to talk about one of the books for young people and for all the people in the world who want to know what's happened to a girl and in days where the war was very, very a topic who everyone was talking. The name of the book is The Diary of a Young Girl, obviously written for Anne Frank, a young and Jewish girl. A brief introduction. When I talk in my essay about Anne Frank, I obviously introduce more like the book, but I want to talk right now in my presentation with the context, because we're not talking about a normal context, and what I refer is that it was a war, the big war, the Second World War, and our characters live in the most problematic and warlike moment in the human history, where the Nazi Germany, with the leadership of Adolf Hitler, want to invade Europe and all the world, and also kill every Jews, Christian, or people who wasn't agree with the Nazi politics. That's why our main character was hiding in this secret annex, because her family was Jews and her friends were Jews, and also she escaped from her home, was in Germany for that, because the war, it was more like it has a background with Anne that is not in the book, but it gives us to understand that she was living after in Germany, but she had to escape again to Holland. So I'm gonna take it, that is our context, the war, that's why she was escaping. And the 8 people living in the second annex. We have Anne Frank, Margaret Frank, Edith Frank, Otto Frank, Peter Van Dam, Mr. and Mrs. Van Dam, and also Mr. Dossel. These people was living around one teenager who was living a hard moment, because she was very happy, she was very eccentric, she was very spreading her youth to the world, when she had to literally go forward and has to hide in this joyness. We have a lot of personalities in the book, maybe not with the like very profound the characters, but we have to say that she was very specific talking about everyone in the book, because it was her diary. She was talking about everyone. That was our context of the people who was living with her in this time of the book. And the famous secret annex. The secret annex for me is the Salvator and also the jail for Anne, because it's a place very small. The world seemed too far away of everything, but safe from everything. The secret annex was located in the hiding part in the former office of the fathers of Anne. It had been fixed weeks before the imminent arrival for the Germans in Holland. And although they were out of danger, loneliness, the fact of living locked out made them on easy flanks of sadness. Everyone in this secret annex was anxious and sad, and that's what Anne wants to show us in the book, how she was sad, how her father, her mother, or her sister was very sad for being there, because it's not easy. And in 2020, we have to talk about that. We have to talk about staying home with other people, because that is our reality. Maybe it's not the same, because this was a war, and in our case, actually, it's a pandemic. But it's not easy, even for us that we have everything. But she has nothing. She was hiding, because literally, if she goes out, she was dead. So the way I see the book, I put the context here because I see the book like a roller coaster, because Anne was a teenager, and I hope everybody knows how to feel a teenager. That is one of the hard point in the book, because when you have 13 to 15, the life is not the same. The life don't have the same color as a child, because you are growing up. And that was the hard part of me, and is the part and the principal topic for me, the roller coaster of being a teenager and the roller coaster of being in a war. So we have 1942 when she has her birthday. He was celebrating her birthday. She was very happy, and then of nowhere she have to hide him. She wake up 6 on the clock, and she was hiding from everyone. She takes little things of her home and stuff like that. And that was a very sad part to me because she said one first, I'm gonna say the phrase that she say, I'm kidding. She say, memories are more important than dresses, because she took the letters, because she knows that she maybe never come back to her home. So why I took the roller coaster, because she goes like happiness, sadness, depression, quarrels in the annex, because it was not easy living with people who wasn't your family and also people that was her family. We saw how a teenager has a problem with her parents, more with her mother, because that was I very identify, because always you have problems with when somebody, when you're a teenager, because you think that the world is against you. And this time Anne has the world against her, because she was very talkative, she was very like extroverted, and everybody was thinking that she was very annoying, but she was only a teenager who want to be free. So we passed to the next year, the 1943, and the changes in Anne are beginning. She started to feeling like a teenager, more grow. She noticed that maybe she have to stay 1 year or more in this annex, when you don't have toys, when you don't have books, when only you have a window, a scary window, and you can see the sky. And in 1944, the political and the war were more complicated, and the secret annex started nervous and with more quarrels, with more and more quarrels, and not only exterior quarrels. It's only that Anne have his own quarrels, and she found a friend, Peter. She has now a reason to stay there. She has a new love. In this age, the love is like more important than other things, and I understand that for her, because she say, I'm only a teenager, and that is the thing of this book, because when you read it, when you're a reader, you say, oh my, this is tragic and this is so awful, but you have to think that she was only a teenager. She's talking about love, she's talking about suffer the changes in her body, and also she talked about something that we see like a taboo, and she talks about sex. And everywhere, when you read this book, you think that is very, very rare, but it's not, because we don't have to forget that we are talking about one girl who is in this roller coaster of emotions. The change of heart and the war has a lot of change, and is confused about her feelings and try to act like a woman. And that is more like the ending of the book, because the end is the confusion of she has with herself, and it's something normal. But in this book, called our attention, because she was like, you have the hope that she lives, but she's not. The end of the most important diary finished with the death of everyone in the house, less Otto. And that is when you notice that this girl who talks about all her problems, she loves everything. She can be free. She can be a normal girl like she wanted. She can be married. She can be a writer, a journalist, how she say it, because the roller coaster end in death. And that was very sad, but it's also shows the tragic of the war, because this is one story of the millions of story that never was told. So phrases to remember. I have these 3 phrases. I don't know if I had time to read it and make how I feel with this, but
Read the first one. Read the first one, please. Just the first one.
Okay, I'm gonna read it at the center because it's the most important. It say, how can I be sad when there is the sun and the sky? I ask it myself. God wants us to be happy and to see the beauty of this world. It will help us in our troubles. This phrase for me is very important because I wrote it the day of my birthday. And when I was 15, I'm going to pass with the end because this has with the end. When I was 15, I read this book, and I was in that moment when you feel like the world is against you too. And I feel very emotionally with this book. I remember everything with this book because I also have 15, and I thought, why can I be sad when she said that you can be happy even in a wartime? I'm not in a wartime. I have to be happy. I have to find happiness, even if I sad, even I have the same changes of her. She say God wants to be happy, and since I have 15, I have this conclusion. And that's when I pass with my final presentations with this phrase. They say, but where this hope, there is life. It makes us brave and strong again. When I put this in my conclusion, I want to connect it with the other of my birthday quote of Anne Frank, because this book teach me two things when I read it. It was hope and it was happiness, and it was like the young people are the most the most representative way to see the world, because it's the beginning of something. And see how Anne Frank ends dying because the mistakes of people who was intolerant. It makes the youth makes angry and makes you notice that the youth and the young people are not the future, are the present, are the hope of the world. And that is what I want to rescue in my presentation, to say that Anne Frank is like the face of the young people, to know that we only are young, even if it's a war outside. In our mind, we have our own war, but also we think in everything, and we are the people with more hope in the world. So this is all my presentation. I hope you like it. I was very nervous, but it was a good book. I love it, and that's all. Thank you.
When you say,
Three.
good night, everybody. My name is Hipsam Salazar, and I want to show you The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, my essay about this book. Please, would you move it? This is Anne Frank. She was a young girl, and please, the next one. Okay, there's the family tree. Her father, Otto Frank, and I watched that she always said father and father, and her mom, Edith Frank, and her sister, Margot, and Annie, that the youngest one. Tables of contents. The number one, the questions that I made to write the essay. The second one, history and my own reflection. And third, one final words from me. All through history, Jews have had to suffer, but there are still Jews, and the suffering has made us stronger. Anne Frank, I like this quote from her. The title of my essay is I Want to Be Brave, like Anne Frank. Number one, why is Anne Frank important? Second is this book the same as all books of novels? And the third question is, could the people have a big fear of being frightening? And finally, the fourth question, will I be brave as Anne Frank if I have to go through for the same situation? The people are important if you have been touched by them. Seeing how Anne Frank has impacted people, she is, not was, very important, even though she is not here with us. Her bravery, her strength, her confidence are inspiring to other women like me. She was just a young girl with a lot of changes in her body and emotions, though. Her diary is not another book as we have in the libraries. Her memories are not like other ordinary girls. Do not be offended. I mean, her memories are in the middle of a war, the Second World War. She saw us her fears, wishes, hopes, her own thoughts as a girl who is becoming a woman. It's not a novel when we read about a girl who fell in love with a boy and went through trouble and finally love triumphs. No, it's a book of cruel reality, fight and sadness. She show us life through the eyes of a Jewish girl, the minority, and she is not complaining about her rights, just want to live, show the world she could reach her dreams, and be a factor of change in society. A good inspiration for life and not force the rise. If you have respect about you and all of you are, you don't need to claim for your rights. The world is going to give you the place you deserve in this life or eternity. She has a place in this world. She is living for her diary. She never fought physically for her rights and the woman's rights. She wanted to be a different in the world and then the world. And I am amazed at how she did it. How an ordinary diary became a spokesperson for Anne Frank and started a relationship with one of us. Everyone who read her diary. By the way, fears. About fears. Okay. No. Yes. No. Well, when I read the times she was frightened, I feel bad. As I was there, I've never felt that kind of fear. And sometimes I pray to never have to live that. I respect her because she sees the way different, tries to live the time she had to live and do the things better even though the war. I've never had that kind of fright to make me feel a coward. I guess in her position at times I could be a coward as much as not want to eat, move, or even live, or maybe just feel frightened as she was. I don't know, but I just know I want to be brave if I have to go through that or dying for my Lord. Finally, I want to give one reflection about the life and purpose when I have to go. I want to say, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. All that awaits me now is the crown of righteousness which the Lord, the righteousness judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also all who have longed for him to appear. 2 Timothy 4:7-8. It doesn't matter how people rate me. The most important thing is to have to love for myself, and in consequence, I'm going to love people, and I'm going to be that factor change we need in this society, and I am going to live with the strength to keep fighting until the end. Thank you.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. That was a nice ending. Okay, really quick comments about Hipsy's presentations. Let's go with Irma. Final comment or question if necessary.
No, congrats, Gypsy. I like your presentation and your visual slides was very. I forget the well. I don't find the word expressive.
Okay.
Yes, concise is concise. I don't know.
Concise.
Concise. That's the word.
I agree with Irma. Something that I really enjoy in Hipsy's presentation were her visuals. I mean, I like the entire presentation, but the order, the colors, the letters, the positions, everything was very neat and nice. I really enjoyed the visuals as well. Okay, Lore, question, comment?
No, it was a really good presentation. I enjoyed really. I really enjoyed. I'm going to read the book again just for you two girls.
Yeah, that's nice. Very
Yeah,
good.
thank you. It was really good.
That's the impact of the presentation. Husband, do you have any comment? Be careful with your comments because you are going to sleep outside today if you have a bad comment.
No, I don't have any comment. It's very nice. No. Was very, very nice. I look the fluency, but the most wonderful thing was the feeling that transmit. That
Yes.
was very, very nice.
It was very powerful. It was very powerful. Same as the previous presentation, powerful. She connected with the audience because she was able to feel emotions through the book that applies to her personal spiritual way. I think that's the essence of her presentation, and that's also very nice and powerful and great. Adriana, comments?
Yes, I love Gypsy presentation. In my favorite part is when she talk about God. I think that the part of the book that she was talking, it was very very nice, and that's the thing that the express the how she expressed about that and how she loves the book, and I really like it. Congratulations, Gypsy. Was very 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 pretty and was very overwhelming, if I say.
Yes. Yeah, overwhelming. Yes,
Overwhelming.
overwhelming. And that's the thing. When the aspect that I really like, Hipsy started her presentation with questions. If the topic in one point that you have in our course is something that you don't understand or it probably look difficult to get, ask questions. That's a very nice technique. Questions about the topic itself. 1, 2, 3 questions, or with one question will be good enough. And in your essay, the idea is to respond those questions with your own analysis. So questions in the introductions are really, really good, or phrases in the introduction are really, really good. And then you develop that, you go with the body and just develop, provide more details. But at the end, the way you connect with your conclusion is the key element. It has to be great and it has to be powerful. And I think Hipsy achieved that. Congratulations, Hipsy. You spoke more than 10 minutes. And one thing that I really
Sorry.
one thing that I really enjoy is that the articulation was there. I was able to detect, even though with so much clarity, not just intonation but inflection about that. So everything was very, very nice. Congratulations. Let's go because of the time. Um, um,
Yes. Okay. Okay. Good night, nice people. I'm also going to speak about The Diary of a Young Girl by Anna Frank. Okay. Okay. Life in the hiding place is full of arguments and dangers, and the people are often angry and frightened. This phrase is from the Anna Frank's diary. This sentence is very significant to Anna, means the feeling on this part of her life while she's hiding with more people. To me, is the reality today. In my home, like many others, we are hiding and we are afraid of an invisible enemy. I know that it's just a pandemic situation, but it feels like a horrible war where we are hiding, afraid, I don't know, in the same four walls with the same people, living with suffering. I speak in my case, and I don't know, taking careful by everything. I believe this book, to me, I believe is in a story of a survival where heroes or incredible things happens. No one of that, the opposite side, just a girl telling us her life. Is where the book acquires the strength for the only fact being shared by a 13 years old girl. I think this is a right by a young girl and her story. Only that, but it's that that makes strong because it will be easy for her. I think that's incredible. That's the incredible part. Adri, that's my line time. I put these years because to me were the most significant years in the book. In 1939, the war's starting on September. In 1942, Anna gets her diary, but in June, she begins to write her diary, but she didn't know how special it could be. In 1942, they arrived at the warehouse on July, just one month later. On 1944, we have two dates here. The day on June, and when in August, Anna's family was discovered. Just 2 months of difference, but that's the difference. And finally, in 1945, the war's ending in August, and Anna's death in January, final December, January first days, is when she dies. 1942 and 1944, only 2 years it's writing in her diary. This is she, cheerful, happy, amusing, innocent, and Jewish. A girl of 13 years old between feelings and concerns of her age. The world was or never was just. I think this girl showed us how stronger we can be in different situations, but in really important situations, we can be more like her. The next, she wrote in some part of her diary, for use and other people without home. And she makes with, I don't know, sarcasm, with certain kind of sarcasm, a guide for the people who lives in the annex. And she give us a guide. Open all year. Price for free. Food low and fat. Water in the bathroom. Private radio after 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Rest from 10 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. But the bathroom can be used by all guests after 9 a.m. on Sundays. Movable. It can be taken in whatever place you can. In bathroom, kitchen, private office, or downstairs. I'm going to move that because it's dorming. Yeah. 2 years. Over 2 years, 1944 or 1944, Anna grows up and changed her own vision of life. On his time, she was a quiet witness of evil's advance. For the idealism of one just man, too much people suffer and too much people die. And she was a quiet white witness, I think. In these 2 years, she had to handle different situations and feelings, since the first love or first kiss, until hate to her mom, a teenager hate, of course, and general people's feelings like angry, pain, panic, fear, worry, frustration, and I don't know how more. Anna thought that her life was an adventure, too dangerous but very exciting. Despite of these horrible things, Anna was always a strong young woman. She cried, she felt awful and pain. She also was happy, but most important thing, through this world condition, she felt blessed. And she always had a feeling of blessed to the Lord, to God, or anything up her. And that's why I'm writing this, to be blessed with God. The last years, at the end of our next days, quarrels, problems, and division were the constants into these 4 walls. I believe all here can understand this because we are living the same right now, the same 4 walls with the same people by undetermined time. The pandemic situation, this brings us. Anna describes herself like 2 different persons. The 2 sides of coin. The sweet Anna, amusing, funny, the girl that the people know. The dark Anna, deeper and finer, but too weak for that. I think Anna was passing by a hormonal change in this period of time. I mean, the adolescence. 15 years old, of course, she was a hormonal time, and so strong like an old tree. It doesn't matter the age. She was always like an old tree, strong and brave. The day happened by this time where British soldiers arrived on France. The invasion has begun. The next was full of energy and made them brave and strong again. I hope in the middle of this crazy life, they do plans about a new future, inclusive about back to school. Sounds familiar? But I didn't make it. I really hope we are not in this situation. My review. One morning of August 94, the Franks and their friends were captured. I think the things are like must be. And sometimes we don't have control over that, and this brings us fear and uncertainty. That's why we have to live day by day, step by step. I enjoy and love everything that surrounds us. This is something I learned in the last 2 months. Really, I appreciate my life today and this day, because tomorrow we don't know what could be happen. Anna died in Auschwitz in 1944, but her story and legacy continue through time, always teaching us that worse things could be an adventure, but most important, a way to be different and grow up like a person. And this is, I'll take this for me and my life today. And this is why, this is reason why I keep my comments about Adri's presentation, because I feel that we try to speak about Anna from the perspective that she's a teenager. She only was a girl, and she only have feelings and have reasons to live, and have many confusion in her mind, and have a lot of things to think. But that was the situation that he had to live. And this is my last comment. She was a girl, but was a stronger and a brave girl. And I think is a good example for me, at least. Thanks to everybody. That's all, teacher.
Wow. Wow, speechless. I think speechless.
Ok, ahora déjeme de compartir la pantalla.
Let's do the summary. Hipsy, what can you comment about? I'm speechless, not just for Irma's presentation, and I want to put you in context. When I give a topic to my students, I always want my students check to the reality we are living. We are living in special times, but every time that you relate something that you read or analyze to the things that we live, I think we are doing a good job. That's the essence. I mean, and I'm not going to give you material that it's not appropriate. I try to choose the best material. And in this case, how come you can relate this one with your daily events? And what Irma did in her presentation was precisely that. And I was able to notice not just her powerful conclusion, but the way she tried to push in her inflection and in her intonation. She transformed me to her analysis, to her thoughts, to her ideas, or to her own interpretations about this. As a woman, as a girl, sometimes it's so hard, sometimes it's so difficult, because you are a daughter, you are a girl, you are a daughter, you are a woman, you are a mother, and sometimes all those uh, mixing emotions are really hard to control. She just highlighted in a very nice way from the woman perspective that Anna Frank was in a hormonal stage, and how deep is that, and women are going to understand that, but also men, we are going to understand that. We understand when that is happening but maybe we are not going to understand completely from a woman perspective. And I think I highlight that beautiful presentation. And let me put you in context. When I knew that Irma was dealing not just with personal events in her life, she just approached it to me and she just questioned the fact that if she will continue or not. And I say, so many things that can happen in our lives, and how can we just accept it but deal with them? And I think that's the most important thing. How can you deal with things that are happening in your life right now? And I think what I said to Irma is, you are in essence a strong woman, and you are a strong mom, and probably a strong daughter, and you have to continue, because I know that sometimes it's hard to have a family and then try to study. I mean, it's a sacrifice that everybody is doing, but I understand that. And Irma just showed me that she's doing that. She's struggling, she's fighting, she's looking for something that she is um, looking, and I think that is the most important thing.